Hey, here I am walking on the Colchester Causeway, and I have some information for you about what summer looks like at First UU. The Causeway isn't often this deserted at this time of year, so it's really nice to have a little bit of it to myself, or ourself, me and Vera, our dog. So there are several things I want you to know about this summer. One is that we have the summer services, which tend to be lay or guest-led. So I want to express gratitude to the worship associate team who's going to take on more responsibility to make our summer services happen, collaborating as always with our tech team, Woody and Michael and our other fine folk. And also this summer, because we don't have a director of music, thank you to Molly Murdyke and all of the lay leaders who are taking on music and song leading responsibilities, in addition to Sam, who's playing about half the Sundays. You know, I've been talking to you in this video about summer at First UU Burlington and this summer, 2024. But I also want to say, and some of you might actually remember this yourselves if you've been around this long, but I've been hearing stories about how in kind of true New England Unitarian culture, there was a time when there were no summer services, that there would be a sign hung on the door that said, "We're at the beach," basically throughout the whole summer until after Labor Day. And then it was just a month. And now, and I actually don't know for how long, there are summer services. We are basically open every Sunday. For part of the first few years after the pandemic, we closed for 2 weeks and we closed for a week last year just to give staff a break. This year we're open every Sunday. That's part of our history and part of not just our Burlington history, but our Unitarian, especially Universalist history, this strange summer culture. So we don't have administrative support in the summer like we used to. This is part of our budget right sizing. And so that means Tova, our administrative assistant, she's not there all of July and the first half of August. And so that means we won't be having a weekly e-news that goes out that keeps the congregation informed. The way that you do that is you be on Realm and you use Community Messenger. In addition, that means that we will have Sunday services, but we won't have a published order of service that people often can get on the website or through QR code. That's just not something we can do this summer. So, but there will be Sunday services, and some of them are being led by wonderful lay leaders. Some of them are being led by guests. I will be leading 2 Sunday services at the beginning of August. And yeah, that's part of what summer looks like at First UU. So you may, if you've been around First UU or Unitarian Universalist congregations for a while, you might know this about the summer and ministers, but this might also be new news for you. But generally speaking, ministers tend to be gone for a chunk of the summer. This is when we take some of our vacation leave. This is when we take some of our study leave. One of the things I love about Unitarian Universalism and our relationships with ministers is that we're pretty darn good, especially compared to other denominations, at making sure that ministers have sufficient vacation and sufficient study leave, which is a kind of work, but it's a work away from the congregation in order to be able to focus and to kind of connect with those creative juices that feed the congregational year. The standard is that ministers get 4 weeks of vacation and 4 weeks of study leave. I will be gone for a big chunk of the summer. This is not unusual. So starting June 24th until August 1st, I will be on a combination of both study leave and vacation leave. Now, there's another thing about this summer that isn't so typical, and that is that from August 21st until September 2nd, I will also be gone. It's not my favorite to be gone that close to the beginning of a congregational year. I have some family obligations on the West Coast where I grew up. We are interring my mother's ashes in the hometown where she grew up, and also my nephew is getting married. So I will be gone for that period of time, but I will be working the first half of August, doing the work that will help us get ready to start the congregational year and be ready for water in gathering on September 8th.